Welcome to the show. I'm Jason Whitlock, and I'll tell you why Odell Beckham Jr. just got overtaken in New York as the biggest star.
And I'm Colin Cowherd, and I'll tell you why I actually have something nice to say about Russell Westbrook.
Oh, boy, I can't wait for this.
Speak for yourself starts now. I'm just going to go on and on.
What a curveball. You're going to say, now he's got $200 million. You love him? All right, hello and welcome to the show. Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings and Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson are here. They'll join us here in a moment, but we're going to start in the NBA with just me and Colin, where Russell Westbrook and the Thunder have agreed to a 5-year, $205 million contract extension, giving Westbrook the biggest guaranteed contract in NBA history. This news comes on Kevin Durant's birthday. Happy birthday, KD. Cowherd, was it smart of Westbrook to stay in OKC?
Actually, it was genius. First of all, he's a dynamic talent, but he's not the easiest guy to play with. So let people come to him. The organization has now proven they can draft good players. I mean, they found your guy Steven Adams.
They did.
They found James Harden. They have shown with Melo and Paul George they can trade or attract players. So this is his franchise. And I would argue, Jason, that LeBron isn't Cleveland as much as he is a global star, little Miami, little Cleveland. Is there an NBA player that more is associated with a team now than Westbrook and OKC, the most dynamic player at the least glamorous market? He's got a little Aaron Rodgers and Packers to him.
Now, I think this reminds me of, and it's a different kind of relationship, but Philadelphia's relationship with Allen Iverson. I think Russell Westbrook is the bigger, more athletic Allen Iverson. Both of them won MVPs. Yeah. Both of them played in an NBA Finals. Allen Iverson eventually moved on from Philadelphia. I hope that this is a sign that Russell Westbrook is going to do what Reggie Miller did with the Indiana Pacers, stayed for 18, 19 years. John Stockton, Karl Malone stayed in Utah for a long time. He is the anti-LeBron James banana boat guy that wants to team up with all of his friends around the league and just chase rings.
Right.
He wants to establish his legacy, I guess, in OKC. He wants a team that's built around him. I like and respect what he's doing. I'm not 100% sure in this era of the NBA if it's the smartest thing, though, Colin. He ain't winning no championship.
No, he's not. But I will say this. He signed the biggest deal ever, the Jordan brand within Nike. His deal with Westbrook was the biggest. So that means he's the most captivating player in perhaps the least captivating market. So there are times for pro athletes, you know, we always talk about titles. If you're Russell Westbrook, difficult to play with, this is a good day for the league. It's a good day. It signals stars stay in small markets. Paul George left Indy. No, we got ours. And, I mean, I look at the league and I look at OKC and Westbrook. This works.
But the only thing I'll say about it feels good for the league for the moment. I don't think this is the same as LeBron establishing all the mobility and guys just jumping around, hopping on super teams.
They're different people, like you said, though.
But I don't know if anybody's going to follow the Russell Westbrook model. I think guys are committed to chasing rings and super teams and whatever's easiest. And look, I make so much money from my shoe company that, you know, I can do what KD did, take a little less to go play in Golden State and win championships. I can do what LeBron and some of these other guys, because LeBron's made a little less than what he should.
But couldn't I argue this, though, Jason? Peyton Manning in Indy.
Football.
Superstar. Yeah. Well, Favre in Green Bay. Russell in OKC. Some of these guys are so big that maybe they prefer that fit. Peyton Manning's like, I'd rather be in Indy than New York.
Peyton Manning and Brett Favre could both say, I could win a championship in Green Bay and Indianapolis.
You don't think this team can vie? Well, let's just say, well, no, wait, time out. Durant and Curry have injury histories. Curry's hurt.
Listen, I like Russell Westbrook more than you, but no one's going to pass in OKC. They have outlawed. No one can spell pass. No one's going to pass. There will be no passing of the ball, and without that, it's hard to win in the NBA.
Okay, but I will say this. I'm happy for him. I think it's the right move. It's good for the league. And, I mean, let's be honest. If you take Russell Westbrook out of Oklahoma City, the most famous person...
Ponderosa and nothing else?
No, it's the prize pig at the state fair. That's the most famous person. I mean, I think he's the most... He's got to stay there, right? So one of the weekend's biggest NFL matchups, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys versus Jared Goff and the Rams. Both these teams are a 2-1 starts to the year. And while Dak has been pretty steady again this season, Jared Goff has actually looked like a new quarterback. Actually has some people, including me, believing the Rams are for real. Greg Jennings, Eric Dickerson join us now. Whitlock, let's start with this. Rams upset the Cowboys?
I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm expecting the Rams to win. I think that
he liked that.
I think there's something going on with the running back position in Dallas and the running game and the offensive line. The ICE anthem challenge they did. I think they're distracted and are off their core. And I think the Rams are an ascending team with a pretty exciting offense.
I agree. It's hard to wrap your brain. You ever watch this where you see a comedian, Robin Williams, the late Robin Williams, and then he does a serious movie, and you're like, oh, he can act. Like, it's hard to wrap your brain around that. The Rams have been so boring for 8 years to say they could be one of the top offenses in the NFL. They're averaging 35 a game.
And that's the most surprising part about it. It's not their defense, and forget the Rams. Stop. I'm done. I'm not with you guys. I'm completely.
What's wrong?
I'm on the
outs. He's still mad at you.
No, I'm not mad at him. Dallas. The league is based on 4 quarters of football, and you know this. 16 games, you break it into four games each quarter. This is the last game in their first quarter of their first phase. They got to get their offensive line together and get Ezekiel Elliott going. Bottom line. And no better team to get it done against than the Rams, your Rams. And absolutely, establish yourself. This is who they were last year. This is why they were so successful. They got to get back to getting Ezekiel Elliott going.
Short week.
Well, first of all, I can't believe I'm gonna say it, but you know, I gotta go with the Rams. I could never say this last year. In no way I could say this. I mean, seriously, think about it. This is one of the most boring offenses in the National Football League last year. They scored 10, 12 points a game.
When they were 3-1 last year,
I said this is not a 3-1 team. This year, I have belief in this football team. Main reason is because Jared Goff is playing like a #1 pick. Todd Gurley, they said, oh, Todd Gurley's this. He can't run. He wasn't that guy. I kept saying, if you get him some running room, you'll see a different Todd Gurley. He's playing on 3rd downs now. He's not he's not a 2-back in two plays a game. He's playing the whole game. He's on 3rd down. He's great out the backfield in open space. Our defense. Now, we're going to a new defense, a 3-4. The defense has been hurting them this year. I do agree with you with that. But Wade Phillips, he coached at the Cowboys. He knows that system. He wants to beat the Cowboys for sure. And he's had 10 days to prepare for the Dallas Cowboys. I like Wade Phillips' defense.
They played 3 games. Which one of those teams that they played went to the playoffs last year?
Don't make a difference. You know,
I'm just saying.
I'm going to ask you another question. All 3 of those teams NFL teams?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you a different question. You don't believe in Sammy Watkins and Robert Woods?
I do. I absolutely love their offense. But I'm sold on Dallas in Dallas against the Rams.
By the way,
because they haven't shown us who we saw last year.
Rams haven't played since last Thursday. Cowboys short week. Jason Garrett's a better road coach than home coach. If you just start mentioning, here's the thing. If I said, name the best players in this game, Aaron Donald's the best player in this game. He's the best player in this game. Second best player, who is Tyron Smith?
Yeah,
okay,
maybe.
Then you start going through it. Todd Gurley, Sammy Watkins, the left tackle.
Okay.
Rams got better personnel than you think.
Okay, I'm not saying they don't. Regular season, tell me regular season. When's the last time Dak Prescott has lost a home game?
You trying to be coy? What's the answer?
He probably hasn't.
He has the first game of the season against the Giants. He hasn't lost a home game in the regular season.
How many years has he been playing?
Not long.
No kidding.
It doesn't matter.
That's the question.
Who are they playing this week?
I did ask you a question.
They have to win. They have to show better than what they've been showing, and I think it starts with their offensive line and Ezekiel Elliott. Bottom line, I'm not knocking the Rams. It's great for football. They're in Los Angeles. It's great for football.
I just happen to think, and I know Dallas has already come out and said, we're not going to do the whole ceremony. Des Bryant said, we're coming out, we're standing for the national anthem. That stuff we did last week was a one-time deal against Donald Trump. I just happen to, I've backtracked a little bit earlier on when I said Ezekiel Elliott's problems were going to linger over this football team. I said that initially, and then I kind of got scared and backed off. Ezekiel Elliott's problems are lingering over this football team. You throw in the protest element of it. They haven't handled this chaos well. Their leader's been on the phone with our president all week talking ratings and TV and everything else. This is a distracted franchise. The Rams got this young coach out to prove himself, this young quarterback with something to prove, Sammy Watkins with something to prove, Todd Gurley with something to prove. One team is ascending and really focused. The other team, we all put them in the regular season Hall of Fame last year and told everybody they were Zeke and Dak and Dez and everybody's the greatest. Rams
personnel is better.
Better than right now. I mean, look, people had forgot about Todd Gurley. He was NFC Player of the Month right now, this month. He has 381 yards, total from.
Not quite Kareem Hunt, but I hear
what I'm saying. Okay, I get a chance to talk about I get excited. I'm sorry.
All right, welcome back. Greg Jennings, Eric Dickerson. Here we go. Let's move to a big AFC North matchup. It may be ugly, but it'll be fun. The Ravens look to bounce back from last weekend's disaster in London and just might do it. They're at home. They play well there against a Steelers team that hasn't won in Baltimore in 5 years and been dealing with a week of distractions about the team's pregame demonstration last Sunday. All right, here we go, Whitlock. Do you trust Mike Tomlin to have the Steelers all focused in on the rival Ravens?
Listen, I think both of these teams were an embarrassment last week.
Yeah.
The Steelers because of the discord on the team. The Ravens obviously went over to London and got embarrassed by Jacksonville. Mike Tomlin's back's against the wall. And this is where I like him. This is when he's at his best. I think this team's going to be extremely focused. And again, it may only last 1 week. But again, Mike Tomlin lives for AFC North football. Lives for it. And he will have his team, and look, him and Big Ben aren't on the same page.
At all.
He will have them ready this week. They'll perform this week. And then they may go right back into the toilet the next week. But a big AFC North showdown with everybody focused in and him thinking about Terry Bradshaw coming on this show or someplace else and calling him a cheerleader, he'll perform this week.
I don't have that much confidence. I think they have deep-rooted issues. If you and I had issues, it'd be one thing. But if you went public or I went public 3 times, that tells you that you don't feel that just us disagreeing is solving it. You're going to the public to, when Big Ben goes to the public, that's telling you, man, the owners won't listen to me, the media won't listen to me, we have deep-rooted issues here, and they're not solvable. Like, everybody fights. When stuff goes to the press, that's leaking. I mean, I saw a story today where Tomlin in the overtime with Chicago said, give it to them, and Chicago scored. How do you think that played flying home? I think the Big Ben Tomlin thing is worse than anybody's discussing.
Yeah, I don't like their situation, but I'm with you. I like Tomlin backs against the wall. And one thing I will say, even though they're at odds, they may not see eye to eye. One thing they will see eye to eye this week is those Ravens. Neither one of them like those Ravens. And in the AFC North game, division game, I see them coming together. And one other note, Baltimore lost to Jacksonville Jaguars. Badly. It was a slaughter.
They got problems, too.
They got problems. Thank you. They have problems, too.
They have a bad O-line.
They have problems, too. And so with that, both of these teams are trying to get back on track, and I just don't see these guys in Pittsburgh, the Steelers, going down there and just laying an egg like they did in Chicago. I don't see it happen.
Like you said, everybody don't get along. Mom and Daddy don't get along all the time. But this football team supports Tomlin. When Terry Bradshaw called him a cheerleader, the team came and said, hey, we love our coach. Now, you're not going to always get along. I think when the press goes and asks a question, they ask Big Ben a question, you're going to answer the question. He didn't say, hey, I'm going to hold a press conference. I want to tell you this is what's going on in the locker room. We don't like this, we don't like that. When you ask the question, if you feel like a man, I'm going to answer the question.
I disagree, Eric. Yeah. Listen, I think Colin's right in this sense. Big Ben, since he got married, since he got in trouble, he has legitimately pivoted to a more mature, different person.
He's a leader.
And I think that Big Ben previously, him and Tomlin were right in there together. They were BFF. They're closer to the same age. But I just think as Big Ben has matured, it's like, no, man, I got very little time to win a third and possibly a fourth Super Bowl. And the other thing, and again, I'm not casting aspersions. I'm not trying to take a cheap shot. But Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, it appears to me Big Ben is more on the same page with him. And I can see Todd Haley's dad, Dick Haley, was in the personnel office in Pittsburgh. I can see Todd Haley wanting to be the head coach. And I'm not saying he's trying to snake Tomlin, but I could see Ben and Haley. Haley used to be the head coach in Kansas City. They can be second-guessing this coach and not on the same page with this coach. And if you lose Big Ben, you lose the team. I just think Tomlin in desperation mode is in there fixing things, and they're going to be prepared to play the AFC North football against the Ravens. This game may be ugly. Pittsburgh's going to be ready for it.
I think you pointed out something about 2 weeks ago. Seattle and Pittsburgh are these two great rosters, but there's a lot of ego and a lot of personality, and Pete and Tomlin tend to empower the player to talk. Sometimes that works initially, but Belichick never has, and Saban never has, and generally football's built not about player empowerment, coaching empowerment. Pittsburgh and Seattle feel like these player-empowered locker rooms where they've lost some big games recently, and I sense a deterioration of unity.
Listen, Todd Haley, because of his dad, understands the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers, what the organization stands for, and I could see him and Big Ben sitting there going, this man over here, Antonio Brown, brought Facebook Live into our locker room, and nothing really happened to him. Certain players are coddled in that organization, Antonio Brown being one of them. I don't think Big Ben liked it. I think he thinks that Tomlin's too chummy with these players. Again, your narrative is right. I just think the Ravens and the history of this rivalry and AFC North is going to get this team back on focus.
The angst for that team.
Tomlin knows the importance of this game. That's why he came out publicly and said, look, players just want to play football. He knows we got to focus on football, or I may not be here focusing on anything. So they
got an assistant coach who could step right in there and be the head coach.
Ben likes.
Yeah, who again has much history with the organization. All right, let's go to Green Bay, where Aaron Rodgers led the Packers to a blowout over Chicago last night, but had some trouble leading the fans to embrace his unity demonstration. Chants of USA filled the stadium during the national anthem, and very few Packers fans locked arms, as Rodgers suggested. Here's the quarterback after the game.
As much as some people want us to just shut up and play football and keep the politics to the politics, sports and politics have always intersected. And if we can help continue a conversation through a demonstration of unity like tonight, I think that's a good thing. We could hear some USA chants as it started. It's fantastic. Could also hear some negativity being yelled during the anthem. Semantics there, right? What's disrespectful to the anthem? Yelling things during it, or standing at attention with arms locked facing the flag? Let you decide.
All right, Cowherd, are you worried these demonstrations are dividing NFL players from their fans?
It's not helping. By the way, Aaron Rodgers has been so good on this. To me, Aaron's been terrific.
Disagree. Continue.
It's something. I mean, I said it before. I didn't think Kaepernick was going to upturn the NFL and throw it out of whack, but it's probably 2% ratings loss, and I think this is dividing people. I saw a study today, though, where half the people don't like it, half the people do, or approve, disapprove. I think in America, the money in America for the media is you go right, I go left. Tim Russert passed away, and I felt like a reasonable moderate. That dynamic in politics on TV disappeared. And I feel now the money's left or right, and so we ramp it up in the media. I think it's much more even. I thought the stadium last night, some for, some against, some USA, some yelling. I think the NFL's fine. It's a $14 billion a year league. I think it's fine.
I've been a big defender of Aaron Rodgers. I just got a little taste of what people don't like, the smugness, he's smarter than everyone else. I don't think he understands his base there in Green Bay. I think his base spoke out very loudly. They did not follow his lead. I think it's clear that football fans in Green Bay, I'll just reduce it to last night in Green Bay, aren't on board with whatever it is, Aaron Rodgers or anything. Just play the game. And so I just don't think you can argue with your customer base. And I base that off of just the tiny bit of knowledge I gleaned from my father owning a bar in an all-black environment my entire life. You just don't argue with your customers. The customers are always right. Some of these business cliches make sense. These football players are acting like they're not in a business, and they are. And so Aaron Rodgers and his Cal Berkeley smugness can go where the sun don't shine in a lot of football people's minds. Green Bay, again, when you start trying to interject, we wanted to make a statement and everybody make a statement about Trump. You got to look up in that fan base. There's a lot of Trump voters. And so we don't want to make any kind of statement about anything.
But should you pander to them? I mean, should you pander to fans?
Should you agitate them? You should do your job, play football, and protest away from your job and make your statements away from your job.
That's fair.
Do business on your job. You get half the money the NFL generates. It's your business too.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose a few viewers. I mean, I think you're gonna lose a few fans, but I think in the long term they're gonna come back. You're never gonna agree. I think for the NFL, it's about.
How many times you been divorced there?
I ain't never been married. So
you ain't never.
No, it's only never been married.
How many different?
Why you gonna go? Why you going there with
that? Don't take them for granted, Eric. She gonna come back. They just gonna put up with anything. No one does that.
They are coming back. I mean, all of us. If you're a Packer fan, you telling me the Packer fans say, you know what? Since they didn't stand for the play, I'm never going to another game. And I'm an avid Packer fan.
People do make a lot of. There's a lot of threats.
It's a lot of mouths. It's a lot of talk. All of a sudden, it's like anything. That same woman that left you, if you see her again, you still like her, like, no, I don't like you no more. But in your heart, like, come on here, baby, I was just joking.
I don't mean she's coming back.
The NFL is worried about money. The viewers at home, they're worried about the Nielsen ratings. I mean, people gonna watch it. They're like, you might turn it on, I'm mad.
It's an arrogance.
What happened?
An arrogance, I don't believe
that one more time, what happened?
Was the stadium filled?
Yeah.
You show me an empty stadium, I'll tell you that the demonstrations are separating the players from their fans. It's not gonna happen. It's not going to happen. Now, they can agree to disagree. You can say what they're doing is wrong. You can feel a certain way. And, yes, did they come out and say this is what we want our fan base to do to show support and unity? Yes, great. But America, in that small sample size last night, we saw why there is no unity. Because a guy who's simply just trying to say, can we embrace and show unity, not even protesting for what it started for, they couldn't even do that. That lets you know, no, they don't want any common ground. They don't want everybody to be on the same playing field. So I'm with Tomlin now. Let's get back to playing football. You can keep protesting, do your thing, but play football.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. If I'd have told you 15 years ago, people won't shop anymore. They'll buy everything online. You just said, that's ridiculous. Amazon.com, that's what they do. Every Ford dealer in America can cancel. But the way the world's working, Amazon just paid $50 million for streaming rights. Twitter did $10 million. Facebook's all in on the NFL now. Amazon's all in. Bidding wars. Yeah, you're going to lose some truck dealers. Yes, you're going to lose some people. But Silicon Valley is now moving right into the NFL. And if ratings drop 50%, they've dropped for the nightly news 50%. But they still make a lot of money because there's new advertisers, Apple, Google, Amazon. Silicon Valley leans left. They're all in on the league.
You just, for the moment and for their political agenda, you just don't agitate your customer base this way. All right, welcome back. Greg Jennings is back, and we're joined now by the founder of the Big League, Jason McIntyre. Let's move to New York City, where Aaron Judge just hit his 51st home run of the season, leading all of the AL, and has helped put the Yankees back in the postseason for the first time in 2 years. Meanwhile, New York's other big star, Odell Beckham Jr., was just fined $12 grand for pretending to pee on the field, and the Giants are off to a miserable 0-3 start. Cowherd, who's the bigger face of New York sports, Judge or Odell?
Odell, because he seeks celebrity. He's got a team of PR people to make him a bigger celebrity. The dances, he's seeking it. And by the way, the NFL promotes its stars better than baseball. But I will say this. If the Yankees win that playoff game, he's a home run hitter for the Yankees. And Mantle and Ruth, you know, the echoes of the Yankees past. Today, it's Beckham. But New York Yankees are one of these kind of Michigan football, Laker basketball. You wake up and the country, over the course of 5 days, is all in on the franchise. So I'd say Odell mostly because he's in a sport that promotes their celebrities better. And frankly, he seeks more attention.
Odell is the star of the internet, and he's the star of social media. To me, Aaron Judge is the biggest star in New York, in the real world. I get that Odell Beckham Jr., everybody tweets about him, and he's got a bunch of Twitter followers, and everybody in the internet mythical world loves him. They're 0-3 this year. He hasn't done squat in the playoffs. He hasn't done, you know, I get it. He's in controversies and all that other stuff. New York, as you know, Jason,
yes,
it's a baseball town.
Yes. It is. That's
town.
A great point. But let's go back to your real world point. Yeah. You did see what happened when Odell Beckham went to Germany last summer. They were mobbing him like he was David Hasselhoff. He is an international global.
I'm sorry. Germany is now in New York.
No, it's
not. I'm sorry.
I want to start here. He's an international star. That's what Odell Beckham is.
Talking about New York.
He is Justin Bieber, whereas Aaron Judge, who's had an amazing season, and we love him, obviously, in New York, he's the new upcoming pop star, the guy on the rise. But Odell Beckham is clearly Justin Bieber. He's bigger in New York now. But Colin made some good points. Long term, I don't think Odell's going to be in New York long term.
Yeah,
that's just me.
The Yankees will never give up on Aaron Judge. He'll be there in 12 years.
Nobody knew who he was 8 months ago. He had like 95 plate appearances last season. This guy's a Johnny-come-lately.
I love the Bieber. No substance to Odell Beckham.
Odell is right now, and he will continue to be. I believe the one thing you said in your soundbite, Aaron Judge looks the part. He plays for the Yankees. And if they begin to win, if they win in the playoffs, I don't think that even matters. He is humble. He fits that part. He's like the Derek Jeter reincarnated, if you will. They enjoy that. He reminds them, he's very reminiscent of a Derek Jeter. He does everything right. He's biracial. He appeases a great audience. He brings in a different viewer than Odell Beckham could ever try to, and he doesn't have all these antics.
Yeah. And the Yankees have been starved for a star since Jeter left. I mean, desperate to find somebody, and he's got him back to the postseason.
There's about 5 to 7 franchises in this country that you cannot talk about them, and then literally over the course of a weekend. I mean, I'm not a guy that watches regular season baseball much, but I mean, October baseball New York, like let's say he hits a game-winning homer. There's just nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing I mean, listen, I love football, but I remember last year with the Cubs, I was choosing baseball over football, and I'm a football guy. Wrigley Field, Yankee Stadium. Now, here's the one thing I'll say. The media has changed in our lifetimes. I used to go to newspapers. You guys used to break stories. Now you know where all you newspaper guys are now?
Break opinions.
You're on TV.
Oh.
You and Levitard and Kornheiser and Rick. You guys all went for TV. New York's media was the hub of the world's best reporters. Here's the New York media now this week when the Yankees get into the playoffs for the first time in 2 years. Celebrities. The media in New York is selling celebrity. Carmelo Anthony on Newsday. Carmelo can't even find the Yankees. The media in New York has changed. Newspapers are doing...
It's everything clickbait. Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah,
everything's clickbait. But again, I think at some point, and this is why I'm betting on Aaron Judge, this brand that Odell Beckham's building, it's a Dennis Rodman-like brand. And so I don't think it's built for the long haul in terms of mainstream credibility. The guy, since the start of last season, has been fined $139,000. Over the course of his career, he's been fined $220,000. He wants to be the bad boy. And eventually, I think that can only go so far. That's why Allen Iverson never toppled Michael Jordan the way that LeBron has rivaled Michael Jordan, just as not in terms of championships, but in terms of being a brand and a global icon. I just don't think his act, Odell Beckham Jr.'s act, wears for the long haul.
That's a fair
Whitlock,
point.
As an internet guy, can I push back on the
go ahead.
clickbait? Let me just chime in on the clickbait stuff, if I could, real quick. We love dumpster fires on the internet. The New York Knicks, Carmelo, and that was a dumpster fire. Odell Beckham right now, and the Giants 0-3, dumpster fire. That's kind of why the media is leaning toward them right now. You know, you can only say so many good, positive things about Aaron Judge.
What happens if the Giants are 0-6? Nobody's watching the Giants. What if the Yankees win a playoff series?
Yeah, but we're still tuning in because of that guy, Odell.
Are we, though?
Yes, we are.
Hammer him.